Yeah, that's about it. I don't think there's anything else I need to inform you about. Yeah, I think that's about it. Right, I say we go live in 3, 2, 1. Wait for people to come in.
I've got an ad roll right now.
Oh, let's go. Well, I believe the people are here.
Can they hear me?
Yes, they can hear you. Right, it's okay, this is all scuffed. It's fine. Hello everyone. I am Leah. I'm going to be playing Diddy Kong Racing for you all today. It's not my first time on this marathon. I was here 2 days ago with DKC Returns, and I am back. I returned to bring you the best racing game on the Nintendo 64. I am joined by the GOAT of Diddy Kong Racing, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Mr. Ponytail. I currently have the 100% world record for this category, but that's not why we're here. We're here because Leah's about to showcase this incredible game, and I'm just here for the ride to give you some insight into the category and some super secret knowledge of speed tech and whatnot. But yeah, that's all I'm going to be here for today.
Alright, well, to start off, we get to pick a file name, so I think I'm going to pick one we can all agree on. And I'm going to start in 3, 2, 1, go.
Yippee.
So, if you'd like to explain what 100% is all about, Ponytail?
So 100% is pretty straightforward. We have to collect everything in one file, and once we beat the final boss with everything collected, that's the end of the run. It takes about 2 hours. If you are really good at the game, it can take just under 2 hours. There is one catch that a lot of players might be a bit confused about, and that's the character selection is TT the Clock. He is an unlockable character, so you can't use him from like a fresh state of the cartridge. But because of community rules, which has been decided for a very long time now, we're allowed to use any character in the game. He is the fastest overall. He has maximum acceleration and top speed. And it pretty much is the same run. If you use any character, it's just going to be slower if you don't use TT, so we just use TT. And right away, there's some things we have to do in this main hub area, the overworld. We have to talk to Taj the elephant here. He can switch our vehicle. And there's 3 vehicles: car, hover, plane. We're going to use the plane to go pick up some of the overworld balloons that are scattered in select places. There's one down by the water here. There's one hidden balloon behind the trees. It's going to be really tricky to get correctly without losing speed. Did it pretty well. Coming around this corner, back to the main area, there's a one on the ledge here. And then there's one right in front of the very first world, which is Dino Domain. See, there's a number on the door, it says 1. You need 1 balloon to enter. And we've got 4, so that's 1 each. On to the first track, Jungle Falls. It's a card track. There's, we'll go step by step. There is a lot to explain with speed tech in this game. There's a start boost that you can get. You can pretty much just press the A button right before TT, the announcer, says go. Then you can get a blue start boost. So already, there's quite a lot to unpack here. Zipping around these corners, but the main speed tech that you've probably heard of is A-tapping. You can, in a sense, mash the A button, and you go significantly faster than just holding the A button, but it's not really a mashing. There is a very specific rhythm to pushing the A button over and over again. And it depends on the frame rate that the game's running at. So there, Leah tried to go for a cutscene skip, which is a frame-perfect trick. It's really hard to do. If you pause on the very last frame of the race, you can skip this entire cutscene of Taj giving us the balloon for winning the race. And you lose a little bit of time for each one that we're missing. There is a grand total of 40 of these in 100%, so we have plenty of opportunities to get this time saved, so it's not a big deal to miss one.
I will also say quickly, so Ponytail can't hear this, but because I cannot configure noise suppression correctly on OBS, everyone on stream can hear my A tapping, so this is what it sounds like to play this game. So yeah, this should give you a good idea of that it's not exactly like one note, and it's also like not mashing. Like, depending on the situation, I will be tapping at a different speed. Like, coming off a boost, I will be going a bit slow before I start tapping full speed again. And I also do some taps in the air for various reasons. Oh,
Leffen. The big green dinosaur that we call Leffen for no reason. There is a reason, but I'm not allowed to tell you. It's a secret. So there's the cutscene skip.
Yeah.
So you have access to the pause menu options on that very last frame of the race. You can use the third option from the top, which is return to the lobby. And on that frame, we're awarded the golden balloon, so we can just do whatever we want, but we can just return to lobby to go right into the next track. We also picked up a golden key, which is just off the road there in Ancient Lake. We need that to access the minigame. There's a minigame in each world, and we need the minigame reward, which is a TT amulet piece, to get to the end of the game. We're going to do that in a little bit here. Let's talk about some of the other car stuff. You'll see there's these bananas that we're picking up around the levels. They're really, really important. If you remember from like Mario Kart games, there's the coins. These basically act the same way as Mario Kart coins. Each one you pick up, you'll gain a small increase to your top speed and acceleration and other vehicle stats, except in Diddy Kong Racing, it's a 2.5% increase for each banana. And the benefit caps out at 10 bananas, so you go 25% faster once you get to 10, which is an insane difference. So typically the route that you'll see people doing, which you'll be seeing in this run, is that we'll try to be getting as many bananas as we can on lap 1. That way laps 2 and 3 will be at top speed. Of course, some tracks, the bananas are too far out of the way from the optimal racing line, so we might only get like 6 or 7. There's the cutscene skip, another one. Every time that we're...
Oh, sorry. That was a buffered cutscene skip, so I didn't quite hit the right frame the first time I tried pausing, but I was able to pause and then immediately... Well, unpause and then immediately pause again to get the right frame as soon as I crossed the finish line. We've also got the first not intended route here.
Where are you going?
So, we have we explained barrel rolls in plane yet, in the overworld?
No, we haven't gotten there yet.
So, in plane, we actually don't want to be touching A button at all, for the most part. Those button presses you just heard me doing are actually B presses to turn a bit more tightly. But barrel rolls, doing barrel rolls continuously without touching the A button is actually the fastest way to travel in plane. Because holding the A button essentially drags you down to the plane's top speed. Whereas, if we're not holding it at all, we can just build not quite as much speed as we want, but we can build very high speed. And another thing about barrel rolls is that while we're in a barrel roll state, we cannot be affected by water or other liquids like lava. So the reason that out of bounds works is because I angled my plane down, I did a barrel roll very late, right before touching the lava, and I essentially went underneath the wall, and I was not affected by the lava and brought back up.
Alright, here's the first boss, Trick of the Triceratops. It's gonna go completely normal. No shenanigans.
Just give him a head start.
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm feeling kind of generous. I don't know, I think he needs a bit more.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, a few more of these, and should be a big enough head start.
Maybe one more?
Yeah. Could even give him a few more if we really wanted.
Yeah, I could. Oh.
Alright, I think we're ready, yeah.
Yeah, I think we're ready.
So we give him a 45-second lead, and we won the race. Alright, so that was one of the first major shortcuts. Hot Top Volcano is also a major shortcut, but this one is one of the flashier ones. This is Tricky Skip. This was found in 2017. It is a checkpoint manipulation shortcut that you can do in the bounds of the track. To put it simply, because it does get a little bit complicated, there's 2 overlapping checkpoints behind the finish line, and one corresponds to a place that's beyond the finish line, at the very top of this big mountain. And we have to go into that area where they overlap, and leave the area. And because of the nature of it, the checkpoints alternate on every other frame. So there's a 50-50 chance that when we leave the area, that we'll have the correct checkpoint to finish the race super early. And there it took Leah, what was that, like 4 or 5 tries?
Yeah,
to get the correct one, so really unlucky there. But yeah, you can finish about 45 seconds faster than normal. It's a very significant shortcut. And this is 100%, we're allowed to do all these crazy shortcuts, so you'll be seeing a bunch of those as we progress through the game. And this is the first minigame here. This is Fire Mountain, the egg collection minigame. You gotta hatch 3 eggs. Takes about 10 seconds to hatch an egg once it's in your nest. CPUs will be trying to take your nest, or taking the eggs from your nest. So we have to defend it with these missiles. A little bit shaky, but we got through. Sometimes the CPUs can be really mean and take our eggs, or just like bully us, or steal eggs that we're trying to get from the central nest. And there's a piece of the TT amulet. We'll need those later. There's one to collect in each of these worlds. And that's the minigame done. And now that we've beaten the boss, because Rare loves to reuse content, we're going to play these races again. Except it's the silver coin race variant. So we have 8 of these silver coins around each track. We have to collect them all and win first in order to get the gold balloon. So it's a little bit more challenging, but since we're speedrunners, we don't really care that it's a little bit more difficult, because we're still gonna lap the CPUs, even while doing all this extra stuff.
Didn't quite get that one, but that's fine.
Yeah, these coins are usually placed in really annoying locations. They're always in the same locations every time. So you can route out these tracks the exact same every single time. The only things that become a challenge are the CPUs. As you saw, we've been bumping into them like constantly. They'll usually get in your way once you get to the silver coin variant, or when we race them in the trophy race, which is like a cup from Mario Kart. You can do cutscene skips on these as well. There's another one. That's 6 seconds.
I'm also being careful to not hold the accelerator as I leave specifically Jungle Falls, because specifically... Oh, hello. Thanks for the bits. Specifically when leaving Jungle Falls, the door, you can get caught on the door if you hold the accelerator immediately, so you don't want to do that, because you get kind of half-clipped into the floor, and it loses a lot of time.
Yeah, there's a lot of really weird physics glitches that are present in this game because it's a Rare game from the 90s. There's a lot of funny stuff that you can do. You also see that since this is a Rare game from the 90s, the frame rate is not ideal. Like right now the game's at about 20 frames per second. So it's not like some other games on the N64 like F-Zero where it runs at like near 60 FPS, or maybe like even like Mario Kart 64, some tracks are constant 30 but some aren't. Some are like 20, maybe 15, maybe 10. GoldenEye is usually quite bad frame rate. So another problem with the frame rate is that the physics are determined by how well the game is running, and that changes the lines we can take, the speed we can generate, the jumps we can do, and so we constantly have to adjust our gameplay based on the frame rate that the game's running at. So this is not a deterministic racing game, unlike some others. Like a good example is like Trackmania is a deterministic game, so every time that you do the exact same inputs, you'll always get the same result. In DKR, not even close. Like, if you try to do the same things, frame perfectly, exact input angles on the stick, you will get different results almost every time. So this is much more of a reaction game than anything. You can try to do the same strategy, the same style of line, and you might end up in a completely different spot. So being able to react to how the game is behaving on the attempts that you're on is really important, because you can never do the same thing twice in this game.
Oh. Bit of a rough race there.
Yeah.
Also counting as like the hardest second level ever.
It really is. Now, one thing we haven't talked about yet is the item system. So, the items are always in the same place every single time. So that allows us to further route an exact path that we're going to take through the levels. The bananas, the silver coins, the items, they're always going to be in the same place. So it's really easy to figure out your game plan before you're even going into a level. You don't have to worry about, ooh, am I going to get the speed item that I really need to make a jump? You're always going to be able to have the chance to do it. So that's what's cool about this game, is that even though it gets really crazy with the physics, everything else is very deterministic. So you have something to lean on a little bit. We're going to do the out of bounds again. You see we still have 2 silver coins to collect. We're going to go back in bounds at the very end of the race because we can. We could finish out of bounds if we wanted, if we had the coins to do it.
Yeah, unfortunately I missed this one, so I have to go back in bounds a bit earlier than I would like. But going back in bounds also is a bit helpful for cutscene skips, because we can more easily see the finish line. You can get cutscene skips out of bounds, but it's obviously a lot harder. You basically have to guess.
Yeah. And now that we've completed the silver coins, we do the rematch of the boss. In this case, the boss is going to race the exact same pace. Like, he doesn't go any faster. It's only this boss that does it. Finishes the race in about 1 minute and 25 seconds. Except there are additional obstacles that are in our way. Like, there's big stone pillars and moving, rolling boulders that get in our way. So we're going to do our best to avoid them here by doing the shortcut and not doing them all.
Nice.
Hey, so there is a first try tricky skip. That's what we want to see. The race finishes in about 13 seconds.
And we're resetting the console there because we get to skip a long cutscene of being awarded a piece of the Whizpig amulet. We need to also collect all 4 pieces of the Whizpig amulet, but you get those just by beating the bosses. This lets us just immediately go back to the overworld, skip a lot of waiting and whatnot. It's very fast.
Yep.
Also,
so now we're going to select TT again.
Just no character choice as well. The characters do have different stats in this game, and TT is the fastest. He is he is one of the 2 unlockable characters. He has the fastest top speed. He has the best very good acceleration, and he has average handling. But that average handling is actually a very good thing in this game, because too much handling can be quite bad. And to put it one way, something that all speedrunners of this game agree on is that the game feels like it was designed around TT. 29,
yeah.
Nice.
That's pretty good. Just a big right turn.
Yeah. You can get a 28 on that, but it's quite hard to get in a run.
So yeah, that was one of the vehicle challenges that Taj will give us whenever we get to a certain amount of balloons. So we did the car challenge there, so we got 1 balloon there. And we also finished really far away from the finish line. That's because it extends infinitely. So we can just cut across the grass and get the race to finish a little bit faster. But we are also doubling that with switching our vehicle to plane really fast. But it's also important to not go too far to the right when doing that early finish, because if you go too far away from the intended path, you'll actually get disqualified and have to do the whole race over. So it's a fine line that you have to ride between finishing early but not going too far away.
This is Frosty Village, also known as Lag Village because it is one of the laggiest tracks. It can be To be more specific about how lag works, there are 4 different frame rates this game can run at. It can run at 30, 20, 15, or 12.5. Oh, nice. Oh no.
Oh, the CPUs. Come on.
So another thing to note is that music affects the frame rate. Specifically, having music on causes the game to lag a lot more. As you can tell, I have music on. I'm keeping music on for this whole run because it's a marathon run, and this game has a fantastic soundtrack. But
the best soundtrack. Yes.
But it does make my life a bit harder in some tracks, especially this one. This cutscene skips quite hard to get as a result. And I absolutely nailed it.
Nice. It's really easy.
Yeah, just a lot going on in Frosty Village. It's snow particles everywhere, and the thing about low frame rate, especially 15 and below, is you can often just get reversed, and just things that shouldn't happen, they happen. And it's not very fun.
We have another key grab to go for. It's tucked away in this little alcove by the finish line.
Very good.
That was a really clean key grab. So we hold a blue balloon to boost us out of that area as fast as we can, because getting back up to speed is really tough sometimes. Very fast. So one thing that we just saw there is that you can actually stack up balloons to increase the effectiveness. You can go from level 1 to level 2 to level 3. And 3 is the max. And they get increasingly stronger each time you level them up. So, even though a level 3 boost sounds way better than a level 1, it actually isn't very useful, because the amount of boost that you get for leveling up does not scale linearly. It only goes up by about, like, 30%, roughly, each time you level it up. But if you use 2 level 1s, then it kind of does scale linearly. So we'll use many level 1 balloons in a row rather than stack them. It's just a lot faster that way. So there are a few places that we do stack up the balloons to level 3, and we'll see that later.
This is a track where if I play well, I do get the opportunity to use multiple blue balloons in a row right here.
This is what we call a chain. Many boosts in a row.
Perfect.
Like, there was 5 boosts in a row. And in this level, optimally, the only time you ever have to press the A button is to get the start boost. And then once you get it... Oh no. One for the fans. That's one of the other techniques that the plane can use, which is backflips and front flips.
Very good start to this one, but unfortunately it's fallen apart a little bit.
Yeah, keeping your momentum going in all 3 vehicles is one of the main time saves in this game. You'll see that a lot of the times that the line we're taking is very far off from what could be considered the optimal racing line, as in the tightest line. In most games, the tightest line is the fastest line, but in DKR, the fastest line... Yeah, so I accidentally did reset race, but that's fine. We still get the balloon on that frame, so we can just re-pause and get out of the level.
It still saves time, but not as much.
Yeah, typically in DKR, the fastest line will be the line that offers the most speed. Having more speed very, very, very often outweighs a tighter line. Like, we're gonna go wide to collect bananas and a balloon instead of going all the way to the right. And go all the way out here to the right instead of straight through the chicane. Here's the S-bend here, a little chain of boosts to get around it cleanly. At the narrow bridge, it has a zipper, so we'll go through that every time. The ice loop, probably my favorite feature in the game. It's just so pretty. This is my favorite level for level design. It's not my favorite one to speedrun. It can be a really tricky level to get through. There's so many bumps. The fork here can be really tricky to navigate.
Oh no, okay. That was so fast.
Yeah. Bonking, it can be very devastating in this game because it'll oftentimes get rid of all of your speed that you've got going. You have to build it back up.
Yeah, that could have actually been a PB for me on this track by a couple seconds.
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing to note, like, in this game, in individual levels, you can PB by just multiple seconds.
Yeah.
No!
Nice. Oh! Well, at least we can say you did get the frame.
Yes. I got so excited about getting a sub 120 on that I just forgot. But yeah, you can PB by multiple seconds in tracks in this game. And in fact, we had a world record we had a time trial world record by a full second just last week. That was me actually. You can get them by multiple seconds even. Like this game, it's not a game where you grind for hours and hours to improve by a tenth. Well, okay, well sometimes it can be, but
yeah, at the very top level, it can be. But even at the top level, you can see improvements by over seconds, sometimes two. Right now, there is one of the leaderboards for one of the levels in time trial mode has a 7-second difference from first place to second place, because the strategy that first place uses is like crazy fast but insanely hard to do, and only one person's done it. Spoiler alert, it's Leah that's did it.
Yeah, I am the time trial champion for this game. In fact, we've got quite a stacked lineup for this run here, because the time trial champion's doing the run, and we've got the RTA champion on commentary, as well as, this is rather subjective, but I personally think Ponytail is like the overall best player in this game, so
up for debate.
Yes, there's so much in this game. It's really hard to say any one person is the best, but that's my opinion.
Like, one thing that I personally struggle with over the entire game is the plane vehicle. I'm not too good with the plane. All of my worst ranking times are in the plane. Hovercraft, I'm pretty decent at, but like Leah is much better at hover than I am, and I'm much better than Leah at the car. So there's a lot of different skill sets that can be had. And especially, you can be really good at individual level time trialing, or really good at individual level balloon races, which are a separate leaderboard, or you could be really good at the real-time runs like 100%. There's so many different things that you can take time in to specialize. It takes a very long time to get good at everything.
Oh wow.
Oh wow. Is that the new best lap one?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's go for Hover Challenge World Records, okay.
Yeah.
You're gonna get a mid-run world record here.
So this is Hover Challenge. If your name is Tarzan, or Kves, or Patty, then this is arguably the best. This is arguably the best race in the entire game. And hover, you can see we're rocking the hovercraft back and forth. It's called snaking, because you turn a little bit faster, or you move faster every time you turn.
I'm gonna finish normally. Oh, not quite.
Ooh, 109.4 is incredibly fast. It's about a half second off the record, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. A half second. So, really all the more optimized that could be is just taking the lines a little bit tighter. That's probably the best hover challenge that's ever been shown off in a marathon, though.
Oh yeah, definitely.
If I had to guess.
My thumb now hurts. I just want you to know that.
So, the A-tapping mechanic that we mentioned earlier that we can do with car, you can also do it with hovercraft and plane, but it's a lot more restrictive. In car, ideally you want to press the A button once every 4 frames. In hovercraft, you have to wait until you get to your top speed by holding the A button for an amount of time. Then once you're at your top speed, you can only release the A button for a single frame, so you have this really slow, sticky, weighted feeling that you would have on the A button in order to do hover and plane A-tapping. And car is a lot faster, slappier sort of motion. So people that learn car A-tapping usually struggle with then learning hover A-tapping, because it's almost a completely opposite feeling. And now onto a hover track that's mostly these boost chains, with a little bit of hover A-tapping. This is probably the hardest part of the whole level, which is this like 90-degree blind turn boost into a ring zipper. We like to hit it at least 2 out of 3. It's really tough though. Not everyone can hit it 3 out of 3 very consistently. There's one. This whole time while we're boosting, we're not touching the A button at all, because if you touch the A button, you'll basically set a really big limiter on the vehicle's speed. And you can exceed the limit of the vehicle's regular top speed by an insane amount if you can keep your hands off the A button for as long as possible.
That was really good.
48's really good. Now you might also be wondering, why are we going into worlds and only finishing them halfway and then resetting the console? That's because this route that we use for 100% gets a little bit wonky, and the most optimal way to do it is by completing them halfway and then resetting and going to the next room. And we'll explain why later on. We'll save the surprise.
It's a surprise tool will help us later.
Yes. Here we have another key grab to go for. It's in Crescent Island. It's tucked away, once again, in this little alcove out in the water. We figured that the developers had intended you to replay the track with the hovercraft, and then explore the water areas to find the key later. But, of course, you can get there in car just fine, and it's faster to do it all in one shot. Even though it's a little bit harder since we lose time having to do it, the CPUs catch up to you, we're still going to be lapping the CPUs. This intended shortcut at the very end, the little corner cut. The ship section can be really hard to navigate cleanly. That was really clean, actually. Conquer.
Nice.
Alright,
The quadruple balls, but that's kind of hard cutscene skip to get because you're not boosting over the finish line. It can be hard to discern the frame at which you actually cross the finish line when you're not traveling at a very high speed, so I find often, if you remember the ending of Pirate Lagoon a couple minutes ago, it's very fast. You get a zipper into ideally a balloon for the ending of Pirate Lagoon, and you just cross really fast. You'll often find, like, the cutscene skip frame, I'm actually well over the finish line. And for that reason, I find Pirate Lagoon quite an easy cutscene skip to get, relatively. I mean, they're all frame-perfect inputs, but I find Pirate Lagoon to be one of the most consistent ones, simply because it's much easier to tell when you actually cross the finish line. Conversely, Whale Bay is quite a difficult cutscene skip. You may also notice, or have noticed, that I didn't actually do the reset race at the start of this one. That's because, for this race only, and I think Snowball Valley as well, but I personally reset that one, the camera panning is actually very fast. So, it's faster to just wait it out. See if I get this. Oh, that'll make it hard. Nice.
Oh, nice. So, what we're referencing specifically, the intro cutscene, is an unskippable cutscene the first time you enter a track, where the camera starts at a spot and pans around the starting area and eventually arriving where you are. That can take 5-10 seconds sometimes, so oftentimes, for almost every track, it's faster to instantly reset the race, and because you're then on the second time in a race, you can then skip that instantly. And it's a little bit faster for most tracks, sometimes less than a second, sometimes 2 or 3 seconds. Doing it overall saves enough time that we bother doing it in the run. And here we have the Sherbet Island boss, Bubbler the Octopus.
Alcohol.
Alcohol.
He says alcohol.
Type in chat if you also think he says alcohol. And here we're actually using a level 3 boost. And the reason we're stacking up the boost rather than using multiple level 1s is because every time that we have to boost in a vehicle, we have to let go of the A button to get the maximum speed from it, so that we prevent the limiter from being applied to the vehicle. Whoa! That's fine. But in Hovercraft, whenever you let go of the A button to boost, you then have to re-hold the A button for at least a second to build your top speed back up. So if you do that 3 times with 3 level 1s, you have to build your speed back up 3 times. But if you stack it up to having to only do it a single time, you only have to build your speed back up once. So it's a little bit faster to do that. So once again, we beat the boss and completed half the world and reset the console. That's enough of that shenanigans of flying around to each world. We're going to do our last vehicle challenge from Taj, and we're finally going to get going with the weird route that we're setting up here to complete the game as fast as possible. Fun trivia. Taj will offer these vehicle challenges at specific balloon counts, offers car challenge at 5 balloons, offers the hover challenge at 10 balloons, and offers the plane challenge at 18 balloons. So because we have 22, and we come back to the overworld, we get the plane challenge offered. Same routing as in the hover challenge, except we can fly now, and we also get to go through the snow tunnel instead of the lower tunnel. Oh my god.
Don't ask about that line. That felt very illegal, but it worked.
Yeah, you got away with that one, I think. So, plane is a really volatile vehicle. It can achieve the highest top speeds in the game. However, mistakes are the most punishing of any vehicle. Like, every single time you bonk into a wall, you lose at least 4 or 5 seconds. And that's like the lower end. Sometimes it can be 6 or 7.
Again, quite an illegal line there. 54, very good.
54 is good. It can be really easy to bonk somewhere in the plane challenge. The frame rate is quite low, and when the frame rate gets low, you cannot turn as fast as compared to if the frame rate was really good at like 30 frames per second. Then you can do a lot of different changes to your vehicle quite quickly. Essentially, this thing that we're referencing, the frame rates, is how much change you can apply to the game per second. You can kind of think of it like that. So at 30 frames per second, you have 30 frames of changing stuff per second. The game will always run 1 second per second, but the amount of physics that can happen can change based on how well the game is running. So like, you could not do the same things at 30 FPS than you could do at 15 FPS, or 20, or 12. So we are constantly having to adjust everything that we're doing, depending on how well the game is running. And top runners can actually see what the frame rate is at the game most of the time. We can usually tell when the frame rate changes, if it's running worse or better, and then we kind of have an idea of where the game is at in terms of performance.
Another thing, like, just another thing is, you might notice that even in non-boosting sections, like right here, I'm sometimes tapping very fast in the car compared to other times. This is because, this is because the frame rate also affects the most optimal tapping speed. So the faster the frame rate, or the higher the frame rate, the faster we ideally have to tap. I mean, you don't have to consider this really, because you can just use a tapping speed like 5 taps per second that pretty much works as a catch-all for all situations in car. You won't lose time by doing it, but most optimally, you tap once every 4 frames. So that means at 30 FPS, 7.5 times a second.
Yeah, and that's very, very difficult to sustain. There are like maybe 1, 2, maybe 3 players that are able to sustain that for a longer period of time. Like me, I can maybe only do it for a second or 2. And I usually fall behind players that can A-tap at the 30 FPS interval more consistently for longer periods of time.
Oh no.
Whoa!
Nordic Boa is the robot, he can just do it.
Yep. So now we're in the trophy race, which is like a cup from Mario Kart. You have to race all 4 tracks in a world in one shot. You win points based on your placement. If you have the most points at the end, you win the trophy. And this is something that needs to be collected. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Oh, wow. Drumsticks.
So get kicked into the water, lose the speed, and also lose out on that first zipper. That's a very punishing.
Yeah.
That was completely out of your control, too. It's just the CPU being at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, the shield made me spin out.
Yep.
I've never seen it go that far, but that was crazy.
What were we talking about? Yeah, so the trophy race. So we need to collect this because it's something that can be collected. But now we're going to utilize this weird route that we've set up.
Oh no, I knew that would happen.
Oh no.
I was too close to the wall. That's fine.
So just like what we did before in Hot Top Volcano, we're trying to go out of bounds, but what we're going to do out of bounds almost doesn't make any sense. All I can really say is that there is a loading zone underneath the finish line that we need to hit, and that's going to bring us somewhere. So let's see where it brings us.
I thought it was overworld, never mind.
Yeah. So it brought us to the Dragon Forest world with the car vehicle. That is the most likely result. It's about a 75% chance. And that's what we were expecting, but there are a remaining 25% chance where it could bring us somewhere different, and oftentimes very beneficial if it brings us the somewhere else. But we'll get to that if that ever happens, but for now we got the most common result. So now, because we've done that, the game still thinks we're in the very last race of the trophy race, and it's trying to figure out where to award the last trying to figure out where to award this golden trophy that we're about to win. We started it in Dino Domain, but now we're not in Dino Domain. We're also completing this minigame right now.
Oh. That's fine. That's fine. Nice.
Yep. So we won the minigame. So we are awarded the amulet piece for winning the minigame. And we need these. We need 2 more of these that we're going to find in the Sherbet world and the Dragon Forest world.
That minigame can be quite sketchy. I was a bit concerned there. I thought I screwed it up, but I got it right. Oh.
Yeah. So the game still thinks we're in a trophy race. We haven't finished the trophy. So what we're going to do, since we placed first in the first 3 races, is what we can do is intentionally lose this minigame and get a 4th place finish on the last race. And because of those first place finishes, we'll still have enough points to win the trophy. And what we've done is, since we finished the trophy in a different world, we will now get the gold trophy in that other world. So visually we have it in Dino Domain, but just spawned here in Snowflake Mountain. And the reason that's faster to collect trophies this way is because Dino Domain has the fastest tracks. It has like 35-second Ancient Lake, 1 minute Fossil Canyon, 35-second Jungle Falls, and then the 10-15 seconds it takes to warp out of Hot Top Volcano. As opposed to the tracks here in Snowflake Mountain, 1 minute Everfrost Peak, 1 minute 20-second Walrus Cove, 40-second Snowwell Valley, 1 minute 5-second Frosty Village. We can go much, much faster by using this method to collect trophies, and this is called trophy storage. We're storing the fact that we're in a trophy race and completing in a different world to be awarded faster, basically. So even though we already have the trophy, we still need to collect all the golden balloons to actually get to the end of the game. So we still have to finish everything in the world, but it's just a little bit faster to do the trophy like that. And this level can be really tough, especially with all this lag. It's really hard to control the vehicle and get it to do what you want it to do.
Nice save there from bonking. I managed to reverse my direction at the last moment to not bonk there, and save that tip as well. That's honestly pretty nice.
Yeah, not too bad, considering how punching it was earlier.
That ending is at 15 FPS if you have music on. I think even if you don't have it on, it's at 15 FPS, so it's very hard to buffer cutscene skips at 15 FPS. In this track we go the the right power flat 1 now, because there's a silver coin there, which does mean we can get bananas. Banana. British accent.
There's a few coins here on the edges of the valley, which can be really tough to collect at top speed, so we'll pretty much forego collecting some of the blue balloons, and we'll just take the low speed and safely collect these. It's especially hard because not only is the terrain really jagged, so it could throw us around, but these snowballs are running towards us, and we could get squished by them, canceling our speed and throwing us in a direction as well. It's a really tricky section to try and attempt at top speed, so pretty much just not. It's almost always faster to just not go top speed here.
That was almost
That's still a very good time.
Yeah.
Now, EP coins, similar to Snowball Valley, there are some coins that are pretty decently out of the way that can be really hard to collect at top speed, so we'll just collect them on lap 1 when we're going pretty slow. And if we miss them right away, we can always just try and collect them again on laps 2 or 3. So you can see that we're trying to hit these ground zippers in plane, which is something you can do. You can hit any zipper with plane or the hovercraft. But in car, you actually can't hit ring zippers at all. You can only hit ground zippers, and that's hard-coded into the game. So even if like you got the car to land right in the middle of a ring zipper, the aerial ones, it would not register and do anything. Which is really sad. Hopefully they fix that for DKR too.
Although an interesting thing is that even if you could, they wouldn't actually do anything in car because of kind of a hard-coded feature of car. Oh, that's pretty nice.
That wasn't too bad. It was tight.
Oh. The hard-coded thing in car is that you can only build speed on the ground, so they actually would not be any use at all if you could use air zippers in car.
Yeah, you actually get negative speed if you're boosting in the air.
That's only for car though. In hover and plane, we want every boost we can get.
Yep. So you see that there's a lot of airtime, especially in a track like Walrus Cove Car. There's a lot of boosts that can be had, and we try to only use the boosts on the ground if we can.
Additionally, if we boost and get a jump, like we just did there, we will actually preserve our speed because that's just how car works. It preserves the speed when you take a jump, which is very nice.
So ideally what we want to do is boost on the ground, and then as soon as the boost is run out, we want to immediately get airtime to preserve that speed. And we try to do that in as many places as we can where the geometry allows us to do it. Sometimes we can't do it. Sometimes we have to boost in the air because the geometry will give us a jump immediately. We also see we're grinding on the right side of the loop here in Walrus Cove. For whatever reason, we don't know why, you actually move a lot faster when you're on the right side of the loop compared to being in the middle or the left. We don't know why, but we just know that it's faster, so that's what we do. I think if you're on the left side, you go about maybe 25% slower than if you're on the right side. It's really bizarre.
That was a really good Walrus Cove coins.
It was. Now the rematch, and just like in the tricky rematch, there'll typically be more obstacles in the way. Now for these later bosses, the boss will actually race a little bit faster. There will be less balloons to be used, so we can't go quite as fast, but we're still going to go pretty fast. Normally there's a balloon to our right just there, but now it's not here. We would collect it in the first version of Bluey the Walrus, but we just gotta do a bunch of snaking.
I don't think we've explained exactly why snaking works. So basically, we're not just turning left and right, we're turning specifically up left and up right, and we're also holding the R button while we're doing it. And so there's kind of a built-in mechanic in hover that you gain speed during turns, just to make it feel a bit smoother. We can abuse this by constantly turning on straights. Oops.
Oh, I got really scared there for a moment.
You can constantly turn on straights, and this allows you to really just build speed, not like infinitely, but yeah, move a lot faster than you otherwise would be able to. And then you combine that with A-tapping, you can move very fast in hover. It's often casuals hate hover, kind of understandably so, but in speedrunning, like, for a lot of people it's their favourite vehicle.
Yeah, I was definitely that way when I first was speedrunning the game. I only liked the car. I kind of liked the plane, but I definitely despised the hovercraft. You don't really go that fast compared to car and plane, and it's really weird to constantly be turning but have to go in a straight line. I just didn't get it. But now that I've grown and matured as a speedrunner, I understand how awesome the hovercraft is. It's a very fluid vehicle. You can really take a lot of really creative and imaginative lines, unlike car and plane, which are you kind of have to stay on course and do exactly what you're supposed to. Hovercraft, we have really fun speed tech, like intentionally smashing ourselves into walls to build speed, because if you hit the side or the back of your hovercraft at a wall, you actually get pushed off with more speed than you ran into it with. So there's like many world records with hovercraft where we are smashing into walls, which most of the time in racing games is a mistake that loses time, but you can go really fast with the hovercraft when you do it. So now we are doing trophy storage number 2. We have a few more trophies to collect. We need the trophy from Sherbet Island, Dragon Forest, and Dino Domain. We already have the one from Snowflake Mountain. And the different results that we can get from the wrong warp, which is the loading zone that's underneath the Hot Top Volcano track. The outcome that we got last time was Dragon Forest Car, it's the most common. The two others are getting spawned in the overworld, like where you start the file, by Taj. And the last one is getting spawned in Dragon Forest, but with the plane vehicle. And if you get that warp, which is about a 1 in 8 chance, you can do a small extra sequence break, which can open up some additional time save. We would like to see that, but it's unlikely that we will. It'll be very hype if we do get it, though. It's out of our control, unfortunately. That was
Nice
very
ending. I barely avoided a bubble there. That would have been really bad if I hit that.
Yeah, bubbles that'll stop you in your tracks, and you lose all your speed, and you get rised up? English is hard.
Oh.
Yeah, you don't want to hit anything in this game. The only things you do want to hit are the boosts and the bananas and the jumps.
Hoffa says allow me to introduce myself.
Oh, that's right.
Oh no. I didn't quite hit the right part of that. That is very much my fault. That's not the game's being... Well, it is kind of janky, but that was very much my fault. I knew I had to aim a bit further to the right there. Like that. So we're going to do the wrong warp again. Probably going to send us to Dragon Forest in the car, but it'd be nice if it sent us somewhere else.
Yeah, we would like to see the one of the two 1 in 8 chance warps, either the Overworld or the Dragon Forest plane.
That time I got it. Oh, Overworld.
Overworld.
Let's go.
That's good.
That's good.
So, yeah, that's good. This is good to get it here. So, we either wanted to go to Dragon Forest or to get this one. We need to get here at some point anyway, and getting the Overworld warp allows us to get there faster. It's a pretty minimal time save, and it was pretty much all luck. Maybe it was a bit of skill. And here's Darkwater Beach, another battle minigame. This is probably one of the toughest minigames. It's the CPUs pretty much determine how fast we can go. They can just run around and avoid all of our shots, and a really easy way to get through this fast is to just camp homing missiles. You can just get 2 of them in a row to get the homing missile, and then just shoot, lock on to wherever a CPU is automatically. And it's a pretty easy strategy. You pretty much never lose, but you can do this a lot faster if the CPUs come to you, or if you hit all of your single rocket shots that we try to do initially.
Sorry about the nausea, by the way.
Yeah, there's a lot of turning around to grab these balloons quickly. So that's Darkwater Beach.
Yeah, the reason I'm doing that is because I am too scared of the... Well, okay. I do try the first part of the fast strategy, and I actually nailed most of it in that one, but the rest is just so difficult. This is definitely one of the biggest places for me personally to improve in 100%, but I've got other time saves to capitalize on first.
Yeah. So just like an icicle pyramid in Snowflake Mountain, we're going to intentionally lose this minigame because we're still in a trophy race. So if we finish a race, we will get the placement that we are assigned in this final race, essentially. It's not the best way to describe it. It's really tricky to jump around and grab that mine and place it down and then re-hit it. It's a really awkward movement. But once again, that's another gold trophy. It spawns in Sherbet Island now, because we finished it in Sherbet Island. Bit of an oversight in the code. You can start a trophy anywhere, but it always depends on where you finish it when it has to decide where to award the trophy. Alright, more silver coins. And you can see that with silver coins, we still want to collect bananas as early as possible, because we want to increase the top speed for laps 2 and 3, but sometimes these coin placements can prevent us from doing that, so we need to have a good balance between collecting the silver coins efficiently and also collecting the bananas efficiently.
Just everything there.
Yeah, sometimes missing one thing can really screw up your strategy in this game. Like the time saves and the time losses can be very exponential at times. At least we got the cutscene skip.
Something you may have noticed is that I was trying to tap A before I landed from boosts. This is called air tapping. It only works in the car. Basically, if you tap A the frame before you touch the ground in car, you preserve a bit more of your boost, which is very handy.
A good way to think about it, if it doesn't make too much sense, is that when you press the A button, you get your wheels spinning. So if you get your wheels spinning in the air before you hit the ground, you can kind of keep the momentum going, so you don't have to have the ground take away your speed in order to get your speed going once again. It's maybe not the best analogy, but it is a way to think about it. There's a lot of new speed tech that's been discovered in the past few years, and we're still in the process of bettering our understanding of all of it. We have improved so many things in this game in these past few years with just the amount of dedication that the speedrunning community has taken towards this game.
Nice. That was very good as well.
I think recently, within the year, we actually, as a community, created some beginner-level tutorial videos for the 3 vehicles, car, hover, and plane. We had some really old, outdated tutorial videos that don't really apply anymore because of how much the game has changed, and what they explained back then, you can almost not see at all in today's gameplay. So we've updated our tutorials. It's now easier now than ever to get into speedrunning DKR. And if you're interested in learning about the speedrun, or if you're just interested in the game at any level, I highly recommend that you go check out the speedrun.com page, speedrun.com/DKR. And there's a link to the Discord page. There's also a link to our time trialing website, which also links to the Discord. And you can join the community, talk about the game, learn about the speedrun, watch others that are learning the game and speedrunning themselves. It's a really incredible community that we have, probably the friendliest community that I've ever seen in speedrunning. We all really love to see everyone enjoying the game at any level. We have, new people right now that are time trialing the game for the first time. So we're always cheering everyone on to do their best, helping everyone to learn the game best they can at their own pace.
Alright, I just got a low 108 with first frame cutscene skip. Let's go.
That's actually 108.
Low 108 with first frame cutscene skip.
Nice.
Easily my best ever CI coins.
So with these coin races, you'll often get slower times because there's just a bit more to do. The coins are out of our way. So we'll go slower on almost every single coin race. Ooh.
I do not
That
know how to grab that coin well.
That coin on the rock is really tricky to grab cleanly.
I've got one more I need to get at the end here, so I might play a little bit safe. Oh, I've got a balloon here to help me out, so
Yeah.
take a bit of a slow...
Usually I just hold A through the section, at least one of the laps, just to guarantee that I don't miss it. What can happen is, if you aren't paying attention, and you're really just focusing on the race, is that if you miss one of the coins and finish the race, you actually do not get awarded the gold balloon. You have to collect all 8 coins and win the race to get the balloon. And it's happened at least once to everybody. You forget a coin because you're focusing on the racing, and then if you're trying to get a new personal best in a category, it kind of kills the run. There's a lot of little things that we have to pay attention to.
I was
Making sure that our focus is always there.
I was really close to accidentally hitting restart race there, which would have just been devastating.
Yep.
If you hit restart race before you cross the finish line, you don't get anything.
Yes. It's happened. That's also happened to everybody at least once, and it's always super devastating when it happens to someone for the first time.
Especially because this is actually quite a good pace, honestly.
Yeah.
This could
There hasn't really been anything too bad that's happened. Mostly just minor mistakes, which always you'll see minor mistakes in this game.
Like at the moment, this could get under 150. This
That'd
run.
be nice to see.
Yeah. It'd be really cool to get sub 150 here.
So here on Bubbler 2, the rematch of Bubbler, there's only 2 balloons that can be grabbed per lap, so we're only going to stack up to a level 2.
Also, the spike bombs, or mines, or whatever they are, they're replaced with bubbles now, which, as we explained earlier, they're more devastating. I almost hit one there.
Yeah, that was really close.
And on lap 3 there's a bubble left, so I can't take as tight a line.
Yeah, the item placements are really tough to get around in Bubbler 2. And this is what I would consider probably the second hardest boss casually, especially if you have no idea how to do kind of speed tech and hovercraft. The bubble placements are really, really punishing and hard to get around.
That was a goal split.
Oh, really?
Show
Nice.
me 2 goal split. Nice.
Hooray.
I did that really well, honestly.
Yeah.
Especially Crescent Island, that was fantastic.
So yeah, now we have completed all of Snowflake Mountain, all of Sherbet Island. And we still have to complete the Dino Domain trophy. So that's what we're going to do now.
Oh, whoops. I forgot I'm not instantly presented with a vehicle challenge. I lost 1 second, no.
Oh no, not 1 second.
Oh no, I completely forgot to do plane challenge strengths, oh no.
Oh no.
You can go into plane challenge there, instead of just selecting plane, and it will be a tiny bit faster.
Yeah.
I've been forgetting to do it, but it takes about a second each time.
Very minimal time save to go for. And you can even lose the time save if you menu incorrectly. So, sometimes, even though it's faster, a lot of runners will just not go for it. Because it's just another thing you have to remember, and there's already so much that you have to do in this run. It can be overwhelming at times. But that's kind of how 100% is. There's so much game knowledge that you need to get around quickly. The other 2 main categories that the speedrun.com page offers is any percent and all trophy races, which is completing all 20 tracks in a row.
Oh no. Oh, whoa.
Oh no.
My drift came out the wrong
Off-road
way.
finish?
Yes, I tried to drift facing the right there, and I accidentally messed up my joystick inputs a little bit, so drifted the wrong way. Only lost about a second and a half, so that's fine. There are many more. There are things you can use a lot more time to, so I'm not that bothered.
So one thing that's important to note is that with this routing in 100%, you really benefit from being good at Dino Domain tracks, because we will do them a lot. So we've already done them, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is now the 5th time that we're doing them.
Oh no. Again, I drifted the wrong way there. Now, this guy who's commentating my run, he is pretty good at Dino Domain, if you ask most people.
It's a fun world to speedrun. It's not my favorite world to play. I prefer casually playing Snowflake Mountain. But speedrunning, this is an incredible world. All the tracks are really, really fast. And they're really fast-paced. A lot of boosts. Yeah, not only do you have to be good at these tracks, you also have to put up with these tracks. Because in 100%, we do them 7 times. Especially here in Jungle Falls, which is probably my favorite track to speedrun. The cleaner you take your lines and the cleaner and more accurately you boost, the faster you can stack up the speed. You can just keep going a little bit faster every single lap. You can just go almost too fast for the track to allow, and you'll just oftentimes smash into a wall because of how fast you're going. You can't even make a turn in time. And that's what's fun about DKR, is that there really isn't a hard-coded top speed. If you are just that good at the game, you can go as fast as you're capable of doing.
Now in this case I'm not actually going to do the wrong... Whoops.
Uh-oh.
I'm not going to do the wrong warp in this one because I do actually need to get the Dino Domain trophy at some point.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's actually... Oh wow. Oh no.
Oh wow. Completely denied.
That is
That's
actually
alright, though.
quite a major time loss. I missed that start boost there.
That's alright. Looks like maybe only 5 seconds.
Yeah, I normally aim for an 18 on lap 1, so yeah, it's about 5 seconds I lost. Because I missed 2 balloons and then... yeah, missed 2 balloons as a result.
If we really wanted to, we could wrong warp out of this world and then play a different Dino Domain track to finish off Dino Trophy. But it's faster to just stay in Hot Top Volcano and finish it vanilla, essentially.
In Trophy Race, we don't need to cutscene skip, so it's actually faster to finish out of bounds like this.
Yep. And you can finish out of bounds as well. The finish line extends infinitely. So there, the Dino Domain trophy is actually Dino Domain now. So when we go back to the trophy case, you'll actually see it. It's really the only time, apart from one other time, that we actually get to see it. Because we never ever go to the trophy cases, apart from just the Dino Domain trophy case. So I hope you like Dino. We're going to do it again here. And we'll be wrong warping at the end of this one. And we want to go to Dragon Forest. So there's a 7 out of 8 chance that the wrong warp will lead us to Dragon Forest. If we do get the overworld warp like we got for the previous wrong warp, we'll actually lose time because we have to get to Dragon Forest to get to the end of the game right now. And getting to overworld means we have to drive all the way to Dragon Forest, whereas 7 out of 8 chance will just spawn right in Dragon Forest. So we don't want to see that. We want to see one of the 2 Dragon Forest warps. Ideally, we want to see the Dragon Forest plane warp. That will allow us to do a small sequence break and access some additional time save. So Leah, where would you rate Dino Domain on a scale of 1 to 5?
Good question. It's probably better for me to rate each individual track. Oh nice. Oh, that's Canyonless, we never talked about that. Definitely not stolen from a strat in another Nintendo 64 game. We skipped the canyon. Well, most of it. Let's see if we get it again.
We boost? Oh god!
Nice!
Yep, I didn't see a canyon there at all.
Me neither.
This track is now just called Fossil.
This is actually really good, I'm gonna see if I can finish this well.
Yeah, might be like a 50... and lagless.
No!
Is that music on lagless?
Yes, lap 3 as well.
That's really, really rare. Really rare.
That could have been an incredibly good Fossil Canyon. Still the best Fossil Canyon this run, even with that mistake. I could have been about a 56, 55 even.
Yeah.
I think in terms of each individual track in Dino Domain, not too hot on Ancient Lake, honestly. Big Jungle Falls enjoyer. Fossil Canyon really depends. Be either amazing or it can completely fall apart. And Hot Top Volcano is pretty alright, so I think I'd give Dino Domain a 3 out of 5 on the whole.
Yeah, that's probably where it deserves to be.
I think my favourite world to speedrun is Dragon Forest for sure, which we've not seen yet in this run. We will be seeing it shortly.
Yep. In about 30 seconds, we'll see it. Unless we get overrolled, then it'll be about 45 seconds.
It'd be really funny if I got overwhelmed, but I hope I don't get it, because this is actually still a pretty decent run.
Yeah.
Not too bad. That's fine. Nice. Okay, we've got scared for a second. When you get overwhelmed, it will stay slightly. It will stay on the black screen slightly longer if you get overwhelmed. I got scared for a second.
Yeah. So this is it was a 7 out of 8 chance to end up here, and this is fine that we ended up here. So now, unlike in Sherbet Island or Snowflake Mountain, there is no minigame to lose on, so we're just going to go to the shortest track, which is Haunted Woods. It's about 45 seconds. It's a really tough track. There's this 90-degree blind turn around here. They have to do it really high speed. It can be really hard to do it 3 out of 3. You have this really tough zigzag with the zippers.
That last zipper is very tough to hit.
Yeah.
Often miss
The CPUs could get in our way here on lap 3 as well.
They didn't, thankfully. Oh, that was still 43, almost.
44, that's good. So yeah, now we have all the gold trophies. So what remains is the stuff in Dragon Forest. We have quite a bit to do because we haven't done anything in Dragon Forest apart from getting the trophy. But we have a lot of really cool things to show off in this world. It's probably one of the flashier worlds in the game.
And this first track is already very scary. I'm going to focus a bit here.
So just like if you've been doing your homework, this is the plane vehicle, and plane tracks have an out of bounds. So we might see an out of bounds here.
Hopefully. Nice.
And we're out of bounds. Now we have to stay out of bounds. It can be really tricky to navigate. Whoops.
Didn't quite get a barrel roll there almost.
Yep. So there are key checkpoints that are present in the track, and in order to get the full progression for a lap, we have to go and touch them in order. And then once we've touched all of them, we can then go to the finish line and get our lap.
Oh no, that's actually fine. Actually,
that wasn't too bad. That was okay to come back in bounds there.
Because at least I didn't miss any checkpoints. Could be a lot worse. I'm not going to go for the out of bounds again. We're just going to finish this in bounds.
Yeah, we got to show it off.
Bit of careless play from me there.
Yeah. It's really hard to navigate that section. It's really narrow, tight space that we have to get through while barrel rolling. Yeah, so it's only about a maybe 15-second time loss at most, which is it's not the worst. It is a really tough track, and that out of bounds in particular is one of the harder ones in the game to even get at all.
Just wait till we get to coins.
Yep, the silver coins combined with the out of bounds is a really tough track in the mid game here.
That almost got me doing coin movement here. Whoops.
Yep.
This is also one of the harder car tracks.
Yeah. This is my least favorite car track in the run. For reasons. This is also some people's favorite car track. I believe this is your favorite, Leah?
Not my favorite, but it's pretty high up.
Yeah.
Although it's not been treating me well so far this run. Oh wow, definitely not so well this run.
Now for me, the boosts are, like, not really positioned very well. You have to cut off your speed in order to make turns. The turns themselves are really weird.
Nice. Oh no,
that's
not nice.
Oh my god.
Oh, I cancelled it.
Oh. Really unfortunate item placement there.
Oh my god. Okay, this is a very slow green village.
Yeah. And you see that there's that well that we're passing by that you probably thought was faster as a kid if you played this back in the day, but it's actually much slower. Even though there's a zipper and some bananas down there, it just takes too much time because you have to get rid of all of your speed to even fall down the well. Oh.
I tried to do a C-press. Oh, we haven't explained C-presses, have we?
No, we haven't explained C-presses. That's a newer piece of tech. But like we explained before, the frame rate is one of the biggest things to look for at the top level for speedrunning. because what the frame rate is will determine what you can do, and there aren't many ways to manipulate the frame rate to be what we want it to be, because at times we want the frame rate to be high and at times we want the frame rate to be low. But with the C press, what you can do is when you press the C right button on the controller, it'll switch the minimap to the speedometer, and when it brings up the speedometer, it makes a huge lag spike, so much that it lowers the frame rate by like one whole interval. So if it was at 30 FPS, it'll drop it down to 20 basically instantly. And we want that to happen when we are at the end of a boost, because if there are less frames per second, the boost will die much slower, so it'll hold that speed for longer. And we can induce lag by pressing the C right button pretty much at any time. There are some instances where doing the C press does not change the frame rate, so you'll only see us do it only in select locations.
So in Greener Village, the reason why I brought it up is because the ending of Greener Village is normally quite high frame rate. Not so much a music on, but it can still hit 30 FPS for a little bit. Wait 1 second, I want to get this. Nice. So, because the ending in Greener Village is often high frame rate, that means it's technically a smaller window to hit the frame perfect pause. So, what I was trying to do is use the C button to lower the frame rate to make it a bit easier, in theory. Also, we can skip that cutscene immediately because we watched it when we were getting the trophy.
And when the frame rate's at 30 FPS, the time window, the physical real-time window, is, like 0.03 seconds to press the pause button, which is an insanely short amount of time. When you go to 20 FPS, it's increased to 0.05. So it's a little bit easier. Of course, it's still frame perfect, but the size of the time in the frame to press it correctly is a little bit more forgiving.
Lots going on.
So that's why sometimes we can do the C press to give ourselves an easier chance at getting it. Can't be done everywhere though, but some places we can.
Almost.
Yeah. Alright, we've got a boss race.
That's it, we got a boss race.
Yep.
Nothing special like this one.
No, there's nothing special. There's a big dragon, his name is Smokey, and he likes egg salad.
Excellent. Now I challenge
Also,
you
look
to
at what
a
vehicle we're in.
race.
We're in the plane. Has
You know what
everyone
that
been doing
means?
their homework? Does anyone know what happens when we're in a plane?
And isn't it so convenient that we just talked about C presses?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
So we got it. Oh,
that's fine.
Ooh, lucky.
Wow, I was lucky. Oh, oops. That's actually good because it'll pass me.
Yep.
Oh.
Look at that. Out of bounds. So, for whatever reason, there is like a polygon on that wall that if we boost into it, we can get pushed out of bounds. And up until recently, that out of bounds was like the main mid-game crux, where even top runners could expect to not get it first try. Like, you might miss it once. Or twice. Or 3 times. It was such a pain to work around. But with the C press, you can basically increase the window of distance that you need to cover within the frame that it almost turns into a 99% success rate, as long as you press the C right button.
Like, to be honest, my angle there wasn't even close to being good, but the C press just makes it so easy. It's honestly very funny that it makes it so easy. You just have to press the lag button and you win.
Yeah, it's literally a speed button at times. You push it and you go faster. And it's so good, in fact, that even people that are like within their first week of playing are actually hitting the trick because of this discovery. Even the top players couldn't hit it every single time if they tried their hardest. And now, it almost doesn't take much skill at all to do it. So, the 100% record it's been lowered in thanks to that discovery, because it's just that much easier to get to the end of the game.
And thanks to my incredibly cool commentator.
Hi. Yeah, I've played this game a little bit. It's pretty fun. Maybe we can take this time to talk a bit more about our speedrunning in general, just our own past of getting into speedrunning. Like, for me, I started speedrunning at the beginning of 2020 during lockdown, and I always wanted to learn this game because I played it as a kid, and it's just an incredible game to watch, to play. It's beautiful, the music is great, the gameplay is interesting. So I've been running it almost for 5 years now, and I've pretty much exclusively been running Diddy Kong Racing. I've dabbled in like Mario Kart time trialing, GoldenEye time trialing, because you drive Bond in GoldenEye. Don't get it confused. It is a racing game. I've also dabbled in Wave Race 64. Shout out to the Wave Race community.
This track is very scary, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, this is probably, at least for me, this is now the most scary mid-game track.
Okay. Could have taken an opportunity to get an extra balloon, honestly. That would make my life a bit easier, because 5 bars is not pretty.
Yeah.
I'll do my best. Oh, there's a lot of lag. Nice. That's all I wanted to do. And this time I will do my best to actually stay in bounds. Believe it or not, I actually set a world record on this exact out of bounds in time trial today.
Yep.
Oh, whoa. That's fine.
So, in the DKR speedrunning community, we have different leaderboards for the balloon race variant of a level. This is a balloon race because there are balloons and there's CPUs to work around. And then there's the time trialing, which is a separate game mode that the game offers where there are no CPUs and no balloons. It's just you, the bananas, and the zippers on a track. And we have different leaderboards for each one of them because they have different challenges and different lines and jumps and different amount of speed that you can get. And here we had to go back in bounds. Ooh. So we can grab these remaining few silver coins to actually win the one.
I was very
So that's not.
I was
not
very
too bad.
worried about this race, and I'm glad it went well.
Yep. Like, if there's any one race that I always worry about, it's this one. It used to be Smoky, but now it's Windmill Plains Coins.
Overall, Dragon 2, well, no, not just Dragon 2, Dragon in general, used to be just such a gauntlet.
Yeah.
Not even that long ago.
You have 2 Smoky out of bounds, 2 Windmill Plains out of bounds, and then Boulder Canyon in the hovercraft, a lot of high speed that you would like to get, but it's really hard to get. Here in Greenwood Village, where there's a lot of really awkward turns, and really awkward silver coin placements. And then Smoky Castle, the minigame, the banana collection, where you can't really go fast, you just have to not make a mistake. It's just overall a really difficult world to get through cleanly.
And additionally, if we had gotten Dragon Plane earlier, or Dragon Forest in the Plane War, we just shortened it to Dragon Plane when talking about it, but what that would have allowed us to do was do Smoky early. Therefore, so basically what the game checks for when checking if silver coins are playable is it checks if the normal balloon race has been completed, and it checks if the boss of the world has been completed. Then it can award you, well, then it will allow you to play the silver coin race. So beating Smoky early would have allowed us to do a special kind of cutscene skip on the normal races in this world. Essentially, we could have clicked restart race instead of going back. And that would have allowed us to save about an additional 6 seconds for each cutscene skip, totaling about 24-25 seconds of potential time save if you get Dragon Plane. Oh no, I missed that.
Oh no.
Which is why it's so important at a high level.
Yep. Like right now, the world record does get the Dragon Plane rung warp, so it opens up the time save. Of course, you actually have to get the reset race cutscene skips in order to get the time save. So all getting Dragon Plane does is open up the time save to be obtained. There are a few, like, just flat time saves that can be had through luck, and that's, you know, the tricky skip RNG, which is a 50-50 trick, and then overworld wrong warps for completing the Snowflake Mountain or Sherbet trophies. Those are flat time saves. You have to work quite a bit to utilize the Dragon Plane time save. Alright.
Alright, this is our last race for a bit.
Yeah.
One of our last normal races. We're gonna have 39 balloons after this. That's a lot of balloons. Oh, I'm getting completely destroyed.
Oh, and you missed the coin, really?
Not uncommon to get completely destroyed at the beginning of this track. The only time it doesn't really happen is when playing it in Trophy Race, which thankfully we do in this run at least once, because we play this track for our Dragon Forest trophy. All the way through the section to play it safe.
Yeah. In Trophy Race, the CPUs are actually so fast that they get in each other's way, so they actually never get in your way. They get stopped by themselves.
But yeah, in normal races here, you often get stopped by the CPUs at the very beginning, which often means you miss bananas as well. Thankfully, this track does have a lot of bananas, so there are plenty of opportunities to get to 10. Like, I have 16 right now.
Yeah. But the benefit of additional bananas stops at 10, so just having them is a little bit of assurance in case we get hit by an item. We'll still be at 10 plus bananas, so we'll not lose out on the bonus speed increase. Alright, this dude again.
Beat me again, I'll give you a special prize.
Alright, guess what? We're gonna do that out of bounds again, because we're in plane.
Want to see me do it again? Let's not screw up the inbounds a little bit this time.
Yeah, the beginning is actually pretty tricky for the second time around. Smokey moves a bit faster, and the fireballs that he throws out, which normally are the obstacles that we have to face inbounds.
Oh wow, that shouldn't have worked. Scene boost? Oh,
Ooh.
Terrible boost. But that's a strat we could do as well. You can touch the ceiling in a bit of a weird way there. There's kind of a polygon that's... it's slanted downwards, kind of. So if you move into it, and especially if you barrel roll into it at the right point, you can get a lot of speed.
Yeah.
Often call it the slingshot as well.
There's a few names for that piece of speed tech that you can do in plane. Like a zip, you could call it, or a slingshot. Alright. We've done it.
I just want to say I just ordered Dragon 2 and I'm plus 27 on my PB.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, man. This is a great run.
Yeah, this could easily... Well, not easily, I shouldn't say that. This could potentially sub 150.
Yeah, we have probably the hardest race in the entire game coming up right now, which is the final boss, Whizpig. He showed up at the start, and he's that big head that's in the overworld, that statue.
This one.
And now that we have all of the boss amulet pieces, he opens up, and we can go to his area and race him, I guess.
Oh no, I don't want to know about his area.
Yeah. We don't know the name for the area that we race him in. I just realized this. Because all the other tracks, all the boss tracks, we don't know the names of the track. We only call them by the name of the boss.
Although, technically, according to, I believe, what was the official DKR website, not DKR64.com, but, Nintendo's website for this game, I believe this race is called Whizpig's First Strike. And the second one's called Whizpig Strikes Back.
Yes.
Right, this is a race that is already very difficult, and this is possibly the race that suffers the most from having music on, as we do now.
Yeah.
See,
The frame rate is quite bad right now.
See, we gotta keep the music on because it's a marathon one, and also because turning the music off takes like 6 seconds. It's faster to just bite the bullet and do this with music on, but it is very painful.
Yep, we have the music, obviously. Then the track itself is pretty big, so it has to load in a lot of assets. The rain effect there on screen takes up a lot of processing power as well. So pretty much the way the game determines what the frame rate is how much it has to do. Oh no.
This is really bad.
So there's a lot that it has to do right now, and so to prevent itself from crashing, it lowers the frame rate, which then changes the physics. But it doesn't mean that we're going to always go slower with lower frame rate, it just means that the way we can build speed will change. But a good amount of time it'll also cap the amount of speed that we can possibly get. And also, these weird edges that Leah has to drive over can oftentimes change the drift direction that we're doing, or it could like stop us in our tracks completely. The ground can be really glitchy sometimes. Alright, 117, that's not too bad, it's a really hard race. So now Whizpig is going to throw a tantrum, but we're going to reset the console right away. And that's it.
I'm gonna do the time save you told me about.
Yep. The 1 second time save.
It's good because it means that Boulder Canyon Coins was not the last we're going to see of this vehicle.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people get upset because there's no more hover gameplay after this, but now there is.
Yeah, hover gets kind of laid to the side in this game. Like... Oh, whoops. Don't look at that, I did not add that into that.
Yep.
There's not very much hover content in this game, at least in the main adventure. Only 3 tracks out of 20 have hover. Oh, Cat Jam's in chat, how could I forget?
Yes. Yeah, we, sorry?
Oh yeah. Only 3 tracks have hover, and additionally, like, you use plane for all your overworld movement. You don't really get to see it very much. Actually, however, in the track select menu, and notably in time trials, that's the complete opposite, because hover actually has the most time trial categories. You can play it on every track. See, a thing we haven't mentioned yet is you can play most of the vehicles on most of the tracks. And hover is, with all of its versatility, you can use it in every single track. So there are loads of hover categories for all the hover enjoyers out there. But unfortunately in this category we don't get to see it very much. This is probably also one of the hardest races in the game, right here, if you'd like to explain Ponytail. Yeah.
Well, first let me explain where the heck we are, in case for those that haven't ever seen this part of the game. This is Future Funland, the secret 5th world in the game. You get here by completing all the gold trophies on every world, and then also beating the Whizpig boss race. You can then go to the trophy sign on the beach. You can honk at it or just touch it, and then you'll trigger this cutscene where the lighthouse turns into a rocket ship and you fly into Future Funland. And so there's 8 additional tracks, or 8 additional races, 4 tracks. And then the final secret true boss race at the very end. And this track in particular is super hard. It's a plain track. The turns are really tight. There's a lot of obstacles. There's these meatballs that are flying around that we have to avoid. There's this ship here that shoots lasers that we have to avoid. Boosting around these turns at top speed. Narrow corridors.
And so, oh wow, that is a really bad place. Wow. As we explained about the reset race cutscene skips, I can do this.
Boom.
See, in Future Funland, there is no mid-boss between the normal races and Silver Coin races. So, after you complete the normal race, the track just automatically switches to Silver Coins.
Yeah.
There's... like, if you were to go outside into the lobby and look at the door, it would just be replaced with the balloon count for coins, whereas normally it would be replaced with a little image of a balloon.
Yeah. So what we're doing here, we're just, this is pretty straightforward, the rest of the run here. We're just finishing these tracks, and then we're going to get to the final boss. But there is one thing that we have to do, which is optional to beat the game, but is required since this is a 100% category. There's an additional trophy race that you can do in Future Funland here. But the game doesn't check for the completion of this in order to get to the end of the game. But we're still going to do it. So fast.
This is quite good.
Yeah.
Much
It's
better
one of
than
the hardest
average
tracks to be
SCA points
consistent
for
on.
me. Nice.
Very good.
It's well above average for me.
So now Spacist Alley is done. We don't have to go back to the track at all for the rest of the run. And now this is probably one of the hardest car tracks in the game.
You've heard of Lag Village, now get ready for Lag Caverns.
Yes.
Also, this is kind of one of the best tracks in the game casually. You thought War Code was cool. You're not ready.
Yeah.
That ice loop. Oh, you're not ready.
I like loop-de-loops.
That sweet
When's
summer
loop
child.
when? So if loop-de-loop is so good, when is loop-de-loop 2?
No freaking way.
Oh my god. There's 2 loop-de-loops. That's twice as good. It's really hard to keep your speed around these turns, especially when the game drops in frame rate. It can be really hard to get the car to do what you want it to do. These tight turns, this spiral downwards. Just launch yourself into the loops. And we probably won't see it, but there is actually a shortcut that you can do with the car in this vehicle. You can actually go out of bounds in this track with the car. It's a pretty small time save to do it the safe way. There is one person that like always goes for it, and he's a complete maniac, and that's Omayo, who's one of the strongest players in the game right now. He likes to go for the out of bounds on this track, and you go out of bounds by like smashing into the side of the wall on the loop.
Like that.
Like that. Oh my god, you're insane. You're so insane.
I'm
Not
so
only
glad I hit
get the
that.
out of bounds, but also get the reset race.
That was awesome.
And it's a pretty minimal time save as well. Like, you might only save like 1 second doing it, but it's one of the flashiest 1 second time saves in the game.
Honestly, with all the buffers, I probably didn't even save time with it, but that's fine.
Yeah.
It just looks so cool.
It looked cool.
I'm so glad I hit that. I thought my angle was off. You have to be pretty much... hit the loop at pretty much a 90-degree angle at pretty much the exact point at which the boost starts to get that to work. And if you're
It's still not very well understood why it behaves the way it does. We only know that it does that. So, it's a really weird trick.
And if you're not careful, you can void out as well, which means you touch the bottom of the map, and you are sent back to the beginning of the lap with no lap progression, which is really bad. You don't want to do that.
What's also really tricky on Dark Moon Silver coins is that if you miss one of the coins, you can't actually backtrack through the loops. So there's pretty much no way to finish the race. You kind of get soft locked if you miss a coin and go through the loop. There is a way to get out of it, and it requires doing the shortcut, and it has been done before. It's a really rare backup to do, but it's always a time loss if you miss a coin on lap 3 and go through the loops, because you can't go back through them. There's an invisible wall that stops you.
Nice.
Nice. So
Very
4 for
good.
4 on the cutscene skips.
This is a very, very good start to Future Funland.
Yeah. So we're going to get out of Future Funland because we're going to go set up trophy storage to complete the Future Funland trophy. Much faster to do it this way than doing the actual trophy with the normal races. Oh, look, there's the trophy.
So if you like these tracks, you get to see them one last time.
Yeah. An encore.
We've not had a sub-minute Fossil Canyon in this run yet. Could we get one on this last FC?
Hopefully.
Honestly, I think this has been a really good run. The main time loss in this run has been, I would say, just these dyno tracks have not been the best throughout the run. That's been probably the biggest time loss. You have to be really consistent at these 4 tracks. Well, 3 and a bit, to really capitalize on the trophy storage time save. And I'm pretty good at them. I'm not the best though, and I'm quite inconsistent sometimes, especially with this one. Let's see if we can
this one is just really, really hard to get consistently. Didn't get the balloon, but kept the speed going, so it's not too bad. What you'll see, what you've probably already seen a few times, is that even though we're driving like straight through a balloon or a banana or a coin, that will like not even collect it for some reason, and that's because the hitbox for these objects are actually kind of small compared to the speeds we can achieve. So you can zero frame them, essentially. There will never be a frame where you're actually touching the hitbox of the object. It'll look visually like we're actually going through it, but we'll never actually touch the hitbox on any frame. Yeah, it's usually just because of how fast we're going, and also because of the luck. A few bad. The canyon just being mean.
Yeah, canyonless is very hard to get. See if I can finish this one decently. Going quite well.
It's really hard to control the speed around that ending.
You can really see all the speed you can build up in this track.
Not too bad.
And one last time you get to do the wrong warp. So I don't miss you out of bounds.
Yep. And the wrong warp result that we want to see here is the overworld, because that will be the result that gets us back to Future Funland the fastest. It's only a 1 in 8 chance. Oh no.
It'd be quite funny if I got Dragon Plane here, because it's actually a bit of a time loss to get Dragon Plane as opposed to Dragon Car for this.
Yeah.
Oh, nice turn. Because the plane, we've never explained this yet, but the reason why plane wonks and mistakes can be so devastating is because the plane just accelerates really slowly.
Alright.
There's a hidden stat called Throttle. It's not really character dependent, it's more so on vehicles. I guess not stat, but more mechanic. So, Throttle is something that increases as you hold the A button. In car, you will gain 0.1 throttle for every frame, for a maximum of 1.0. In hover, it will be every 2 frames, and in plane it will be every 3 frames. And now, having max throttle, essentially, you can only A-tap when you are at max throttle. So that's why it's quite devastating in plane, because you have to spend so long getting back up. Also, there's just a hole in the wall. I spent so long...
let's not mention that. There's a hole in the wall.
I was yapping on about that, and I never mentioned there's just a hole in the wall.
So, this is a Japanese version exclusive glitch out of bounds, and that's one of the main reasons why we're the Japanese version. I think we also haven't mentioned that the wrong warp results that we're getting only happen on the Japanese version as well. So the Japanese version is the most optimal for 100%, also for any percent, and also for all trophy racing. And we can finish out of bounds since we're in a trophy race. So that's the Future Funland trophy.
Again, it looks like it's in Dino Domain. Now we just played Space for Alpha, we're going to go back into Space for Alpha, and if I get the restart race on this, we're going to see 3 Space for Alphas in a row.
Yep.
It's quite funny when it happens.
It's a weird section of the run doing the same track 3 times in a row.
Only time you do it in the whole run.
Winning the trophy takes priority over getting the gold balloon. So we still have to race this for the gold balloon, and then an additional time for the silver coin variant. Doesn't quite stack up the progression. Nice.
I really would have liked to get the balloon there. That would have allowed me to boost as soon as I fell out of bounds. I also only have 7 bananas here. I had 8 or 9 last time, so spacing... bananas are probably more important in plane than any other vehicle, because they really affect how long the barrel rolls last.
You can kind of think of it that each additional banana means you can cover 2.5% more distance with each barrel roll. And it kind of becomes exponential with each barrel roll because you can build speed faster off of the faster barrel rolls you're getting because of the banana. Oh no. Nice.
I did that with my left hand, by the way. I screwed up.
Oh.
Okay, I'm right-handed, and I pressed the start button with my right hand. I kind of screwed up there, and for some reason, it led to my left thumb getting that scene skip. I think that's pretty cool. I don't know why.
I always press the start button with my left hand, my left index.
That's because you hold the controller weirdly. Do you want to explain that?
Oh yeah, so if you've ever seen the N64 controller, you know that's kind of weird to hold.
Oh, that was really sketchy. I'm quite high. Yeah, it's quite high up there. I could have gone back in bounds.
So most people's grips on the control stick for the N64 controller is using just your thumb over top of the stick and then pushing down to get grip on it.
That's what I do.
Yeah, that's what I would say over 90% of people do. There are the few people that have alternative grips, and I'm one of them. I use what's commonly known as a claw grip.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I went back in too early. Go back a little bit so I can build up some more speed.
You can see how wide we have to take these lines sometimes, because you can't just turn and hold your speed with the plane. You have to go wide to maintain your speed.
Yeah, and additionally, low frame rate means you lose more speed when turning. And of course you've got the music on.
And low frame rate means you build your speed slower per second. If it's a 30 FPS, what we commonly call lagless, you can build speed much faster. Yeah, I use a claw grip. I use my index and thumb finger. That's not, I mean, it is a finger, but it's also not. I use my index and thumb, and I pinch the top and bottom of the joystick, and I have 2 fingers on the stick at all times. And that was just something I naturally developed as a kid when I played N64, because I guess I had like sweaty hands, and I always kept slipping off the joystick, so I came up with just grabbing the stick, so I could never slip off. I still slip off because of how fast we have to move the stick. And yeah, that's what I'm comfortable with. Obviously, you don't need to, you don't always get world records with claw grip. You don't always get world records with a normal grip. It's always just preference for that. It's not required.
And from my perspective, even though I feel like Ponytail's insane for using claw grip, because I can't comprehend it myself, I can't play with it, I can understand why he would use it. Like, I can see what he is talking about with, like, with having more control over your movement when using it.
Yeah, I feel like I can move the stick around faster, but that's just because of how long I've used it. That's just what I'm comfortable with.
That's not so bad to miss the restart race on, because we are oh hello, we have, this is literally this and one more race. We're looking to get likely to get under 150 this run.
Yeah, we're underestimated by a pretty good amount here because of how well Leah's been racing.
Yeah, this has been a very good run, honestly.
Yeah, if needed, we can do a fun little game after the run to burn some time.
Only if we have time though.
Yeah. Go for it.
Oh wait, I have shield.
Alright, good. Yeah, that's why we use the shield there, because CPUs can place down items in really unfortunate spots.
You know, the shield honestly almost never helps me there, so I kind of forgot I had it. I'm a little bit scared.
Yeah. You never need it until you do. It's better to just have it.
Also, falling off the bridge here is a really devastating thing to do. Don't do that.
Yeah, probably 10 seconds, at least. Especially which part of the bridge. If you fall off right away, it's not too bad, but if you fall right at the entrance to the ball, the Epcot-looking thing, boom. All right, 7 for 8.
That was an 18. That was an FFL gold.
Really?
Yes.
Nice.
This is going to be a very low 149. This is
awesome.
really good.
Yeah.
This
going to be like your second best run ever, your pacing?
Yeah. This is, I kind of wanted to get a sub 150, just, it felt like a pipe dream, but
yeah.
Wow, I'm actually about to get one in this marathon run. Gone way better than I expected. I did a practice
still
run.
One more thing to do. We are in plane, which means there is an out of bounds.
Yes.
And it's it is a hard out of bounds. It's not the easiest, it's not free. So focus up a little bit.
Yep. Lock in. Nice.
Alright, there it is. Now the goal is to just stay out and hit all the key checkpoints, and this will be the end of the run when we finish this race. You can kind of see, if we look at the minimap here, we're flying in the triangle pattern because that's where the key checkpoints are located. There's one inside this big Whizpig head statue thing, and there's one at the bottom left of the minimap. So we're pretty much just flying point to point as efficiently as possible. Oh nice, we have a 1-minute ad right now for non-subscribers.
Oh, let's go.
Classic. Twitch ruining the end.
The purple stuff there is water, don't touch it.
Yes. Alright, coming up on the end here. Time when we cross the finish line.
Looks like we're a bit early,
time.
but 149.05.
GG's.
Excellent.
Yeah, that should be... That's your second best run, right?
Yes, that was my second best run.
Congrats. Yippee.
Woohoo.
So now we get to see Whizpig totally crashing into the moon here, and yeah, we will never see him again, ever, no matter what. He won't be coming back.
I'm just realizing that was a gold FFL with a missed cutscene restart and a missed top out of bounds.
Oh yeah.
Whoops.
Yeah, that's probably maybe a good 20 seconds.
The missed hot top out of bounds is about 15 seconds of my backup, so that's nearly half a minute.
Missed, and then the bad entry back in bounds for spaceport coins.
Yeah, the racing is just so good.
Yeah. So, we did a quick, just to kind of hype up Leah a little bit, we did a kind of a impromptu 100% race just before this, and Leah was struggling quite a bit. This is a really difficult category. And to see her just smash it this easily in a marathon, really awesome. So, congrats once again.
It does feel really awesome. This is much better than I ever thought I would do.
Yeah.
I'm really pleased.
Are those the dinosaurs from Land Before Time?
Yeah. I do believe they are. Can any one of the marathon mods let me know how much time we have before the next run? Because we might get to play a little game here. Do we have maybe like 5 minutes or so? Oh no, are they still here?
We may never know.
Okay, well if no one objects, I'm gonna let us play a little game.
Yeah.
So we pick up this link here. So at the end of the credits, or near the end of the credits, we are given a cheat code is revealed to us. There are a lot of cheat codes in this game, and yeah, it's completely random each time. We like to, as a community, we like to guess what our cheat code will be at the end of each run. So Ponytail always loves to guess rocket fuel. I will guess What am I feeling today? I'm feeling jukebox.
And Andy's going for blabbermouth.
Kevin
We can also explain what each of these cheats does. Rocket fuel, that turns all of the balloons into blue boost balloons. So I really like that one. You go fast. Blabbermouth, that will change every time that you press Z or Z, depending on where you are. British. It will change the horn sound effect into the character voice line that you're using. So it'll make them like say, ouch, or yahoo, or something. Jukebox enables the secret music like menu, so you can like look through all the music and listen to it. There's also some secret music in the game as well. I wonder what it'll be. It's just kind of a reward from the developers. Every time you beat the final boss, you get to learn a new magic code, so you get to have some fun. And of course, magic codes are not allowed whenever we're running the game. You're not allowed to use any of them. However, in time trialing, there are a few magic codes that don't affect anything, so they are allowed on the leaderboards, but in full game runs like this, we can't use any of them. But they are fun to play around with. Magic code is coming up pretty soon here. You do have a guess. Get it in now.
Right here.
Here it is.
Toxic
Oh,
Offender.
that's one of your other favorite ones.
Yes. I was thinking about guessing that one, but alas.
Maybe next time.
Yes. Oh yes, your one is next. Yes, so as soon as I go off here, a couple minutes here, Laser Trap is going to be running Lego Batman DS, which is actually, it sounds obscure, but it's actually a game I wanted to pick up at some point as a speed game. Game from my childhood, honestly. Probably my favourite Lego game, so I'm really excited to actually see that be done. So let the credits play out a bit here, and after this, go cheer them on for the, Batman. Wahoo. And end credits. Oh,
That's the
actually,
game.
because we still got a couple minutes here, I'm going to quickly give us a taste of the secret tune.
Oh, yes.
This is a little bit of music we don't get to hear in the game normally. It ended up going unused, but we can still hear
There
it in
is
game.
a fair amount of unused assets in the game. There's one secret music track, and turning on Jukebox enables the music test menu.
I forget which track it is. I think it's number 12.
And there it is. Yeah,
Yes.
I forget.
It's number 12. So we believe this would have been used for one of the Sherbet Island tracks, possibly Treasure Caves or Crescent Island. We don't know for sure. Maybe it even could have been used for one of the tracks that never made it into the final game, like Horseshoe Gulch, for example. I really don't know, but it sounds pretty nice. Pretty celebratory. I usually play it after I finish a run, a PB.
Yeah.
Alright, with that, I will end stream here and join back in a couple minutes to see Lego Batman be played very quickly. I'll sign off here. And it's been very fun to run at this marathon. Both of my runs were very enjoyable, especially really enjoyed having Ponytail on commentary for this one. Shout out to the entire DKR community. I'm gonna list off names and then forget a few people and feel bad. Obaya, Tridentail, Sweener, Ponytail, myself, Tarzan, Peaks, Joey, Brandino, Peaches, Vholf, Nordic, Kaves, Asbo, Gears, CG358, Stacy, everyone else, Andy Panther. So fun to hang out with these people, and I think this is one of the best speedrunning communities. You really won't regret joining it. And yeah, I will sign off there. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
End stream. Hey,
We did it.
we did it.